Welcome to On Par with Maury Povich. 15 years ago, the world met Mike The Situation Sorrentino. And whether you loved him, judged him, you knew him. I mean, he was there out front. But what happens when, the party stops and the lights go out and the real work begins? Today, we're talking about second acts here, second chances, and what it means to build a legacy that goes beyond reality TV. Because this is the real thing. On Par with Maury Povich. Okay. Nice to have you with us, Mike.
Thank you so much. That introduction, you almost got me teared up over here.
Really?
Because I put a lot.
Kind of rang a bell.
I put a lot of hard work these past, 10 years.
How the hell did they ever pick you for the show?
Wow. Well, you know what? That was in 2008. I was, in my mid-20s. And I was doing what any normal 20-year-old would be doing, and that would be dating, going in the club scene. You're having your first, jobs. And I always had dreams of being in entertainment. I had looked up to Marky Mark at the time.
Oh, really?
Who had, he was on the Calvin Klein box. And I had always said, my abs are just as good or maybe even better, And that was my inspiration, And
it was all about abs, huh?
Well, at the time I had a beautiful set of abs, and everyone always used to walk by me and be like, you should have done something with those. Almost like in past tense, and I was only 25.
So did the show find you, or did you find the show?
I found the show to a certain extent, or we sort of met each other.
Was somebody looking for people at the time for Jersey Shore?
My father at the time gave me an ultimatum, and he said that you're too wild, and no one's going to straighten you out but Uncle Sam. So because he had found a pound of marijuana in his ceiling. And he wasn't too happy about that. And so he said, I'm going to kick you out, but I'm going to give you one shot. I'm going to drive you to the military office, and I'm going to sign you up for the military. Uncle Sam is going to straighten you out. So I took the ASVABs. I got a 67, and I had 2 weeks before I was about to go to the military. And I thought to myself, I'm going to follow what my dad said. My father knows best, and I've been a little bit of a wild child, a black sheep, and I want to get my life straightened out. So again, I had about 2 weeks before I was about to sign off and go to the Navy, and I said to myself, you know what? I'll never forgive myself if I don't throw the Hail Mary and go for my dreams. So in that 2-week period, I had an amazing six-pack, and I was in such amazing shape. I decided to take some photos in my underwear and send them to the top 5 Googled New York City modeling and underwear.
You were going to be an underwear model.
Yes. And within about 3 days of sending those photos, I got everyone answered me back, and they wanted me for interviews. Within a day or two later, I was signed as a fitness and underwear model in New York City, and that was a sign for me that I was going in the right direction. So I told my father, I said, Dad, I'm not going to go to the military anymore. And he said, I'm still kicking you out. And then I started couch surfing. Long story short, maybe 3 months later, I fell upon a casting call for the hottest Guidos and Guidettes in New York City. Please come to New Jersey's Atlantic City in Harrah's for an audition for a show which would eventually be called Jersey Shore.
Wow.
So do you see almost like everything happens for a reason? I was about to go to the military. My dad was kicking me out. He's saying, you're just too wild.
What do you think would have happened?
I probably would have went into the military and maybe been a firefighter afterwards. That was my father's plan for me. A more of a stable,
You didn't
arc.
know any of the original cast.
No. I was the first one casted in 2008 for the pilot, which was called almost like America's Next Top Guido, or America's, hottest Guidos and Guidettes. Once Viacom decided to greenlight that, it was with VH1 first, and MTV took it, and then they revamped the concept, and then they casted it from there.
It was a wild crew.
It was. I was introduced in 2009 to Snooki, DJ Pauly D, JWoww, Ronnie, Vinny, Angelina. I did know Angelina, though. We did know each other beforehand. And then eventually Dina a few years later.
Right. So, do you think you would have run into all your trouble without being in the show, or did the show help you along that way?
I mean, it was like gasoline to a fire. You know, I had that personality, and I've always had that personality of all or nothing. You know, I've learned in sobriety that I'm never going to change that personality, and I need to sort of flip the switch or redirect that superpower to only positive habits and not any negative ones.
Did you really believe in gym, tanning, and laundry?
That was the schedule in season 1 of Jersey Shore. And every day we would go to the gym, then we would go tanning, and then we would go laundry. Those were our errands almost every day before we had dinner and before we went to the club. And so every day that we did that, we were in the foyer one day, and we just abbreviated it. We said, we're going gym, tan, laundry today. And America just loved it. And it turned into this acronym turned into a worldwide phrase.
When did you know you were in trouble? How many years? Season 2? Season 3?
Well, season 2 is when we got our big raise. You know, that's when, we were presented with the contract to get a season 2. And the lawyers handed us a contract with no raise, and they said, "Oh, you're getting a season 2," and everyone was like, "We're all in a room in New York City. It's me and Snooki and Paulie D and JWoww
against Viacom,
with Viacom, and we're all happy that we got a season 2, but they just handed a contract with no raise on it." And this was one of the biggest shows in America at the time.
Sure.
And I just looked at it, and then I'm looking at Snooki, and I'm looking at DJ Paulie D, and I'm like, this doesn't sound right. It doesn't feel right. And I was very vocal at the time, very, very confident, or some may even say cocky. And so I said to, I believe the lawyer at the time, maybe their BA or whoever it was, I said, what happens?
You guys didn't have lawyers? You didn't have agents?
Probably was very beginning. We were just about to get them, probably. Okay. And so I said, what happens if we don't sign this? And then I guess he's a BA or their
business affairs.
Yeah,
guy.
their representation. He goes, we're going to replace you. And me being who I was at the time,
you said, I'm irreplaceable?
Pretty much. Within, it was actually like a knee-jerk reaction. I said, good luck. Remember Liam Neeson's movie, right. Good, Taken? I was like, good luck, and I walked out of the room. Because I just knew what we had filmed. I knew when I had left Seaside
Heights. Well, you knew
Heights,
if the first season was a hit.
It was a monster hit. I just felt that no one could replace someone called The Situation, and no one could replace someone called Snooki and DJ Paul. These were characters created. This wasn't just, just any ordinary reality TV show. Right. And I walked out. Within about 3 months, we got that $1 million raise. I was getting upwards of... my contract started at maybe, and this is roundabouts, 100,000, and it went to 125 to 137, all the way up into almost 200,000 after season by season with $500,000.
You're talking about an episode.
Yes, with $500,000 bonuses. So the money,
when the money comes.
Yes, when the money comes, you know what happened next. Then that was gasoline to the flame for a young 20-something that probably didn't have to file his taxes the year before because he didn't make any money. Like you can see it, and now I can see it. 15 years later, it's common sense. So you can see.
You really didn't file taxes on $8 or $9 million?
Well, I like where you're going with this, and I've been waiting for this question. If you're going from not making enough money and you didn't have to file, right? And then your manager comes in and says, "Hey, you just made $5 million." You're not equipped, experience-wise, education-wise, to understand. Hey, I'll get him next year, right? I'll get him next year. So it was a mistake. It was an oversight, okay? From
did you plow through the money?
Yeah, I guess you can say I definitely. To a certain extent, I definitely.
If you were making $5 million,
it was still there. It was still there. It was
Okay.
still there because obviously I had to defend the case,
Right.
which cost me $1 million. But you have to keep in mind some of the other variables. Okay, addiction. Okay, which is debilitating.
When did that start?
Definitely, that was fire to the flame in season 2.
Season 2.
Season 2,
With the money and everything else.
When they gave that $1 million raise, I went straight to Ferrari in Fort Lauderdale. These are very green mistakes, but yes, I went to Ferrari.
You sound like one of those star sports athletes.
Yeah, those rappers. Yeah, I went straight to Ferrari in Fort Lauderdale. I got that 360, or actually the F430 Sport, but. Not only that, I had probably, 200 Percocets in my pocket, or 30 milligram oxycodones, which are, essentially 30 milligram Percocets.
Oxy.
That my drug of choice was oxy, yes.
And maybe heroin too.
Well, that didn't come till many years later, and that happened once, and that's when I had turned my life around. That was an amazing story, a godsend of a story. I don't know if you're
So
ready.
in other
ready for
words,
that.
it was the reaction to that drug that catapulted you into rehab.
Yes, the heroin, which again, that is a story. I don't know if you're ready for that one, but that was later on. That was years and years later.
So you were doing Oxy all through this.
Yeah. I was doing Oxy throughout Jersey Shore. It was like mission impossible on every season to get by security protocols of MTV, and again, those security protocols were designed to protect me, designed to protect cast. There was police on set, along with other their own security team, and I had a debilitating addiction, and it got worse and worse every season, and every particular season in a different country, whether it was Italy or maybe it was Miami or maybe it was back in Jersey. Every time I had a different caper.
And you're going overseas, and you still have to find a way.
Yes.
To get the drugs there.
And yes, and every.
You had to be inventive.
Listen, you would be surprised the measures that I took just to smuggle drugs on set, to evade security protocols and police. I mean, it was ridiculous, and hence, I write in my book. I think that's why it's so very popular.
A very popular book, by the way.
Yes.
Huh? Reality Check.
Yes. It's my life. It's my legacy. It's my story of experience, strength, and hope, how I overcame addiction, loss, in prison. And again, if you read that book, you are just floored with how I got out of the situations that I got myself into.
Was there an intervention or not? Because I'll talk about intervention in a bit, because now you're a practitioner of it.
Yes. I don't want to get teary-eyed or anything, but yes, they say the final stage of recovery is when you use what you went through to help other people. And that is where we are now on my 10th year of sobriety. But as I was going through the filming of the juggernaut show that was Jersey Shore, every season the producers and the people would come up to me, and they never had the evidence. They never had the evidence. The writing was on the wall. The behavior was just pushed everything to the envelope,
Right.
And they would say, hey, if you need some help, we'll help you. And I was always in denial. I was, I'm fine. And then eventually until you're not fine. And then, years later, I turned it around, obviously.
Wait, did you turn it around after you went to prison?
No, before. Right before. Probably the time when I turned my life around, the money was gone.
Right.
Okay. I had spent over millions of dollars, definitely well into the seven figures to defend the case, the United States versus Mike The Situation. I even had the situation on the paperwork. And I was like, this is crazy, And
were you surprised that?
I was surprised, but I wasn't surprised
Did
because
you think you would, get,
skate by?
Yeah.
I obviously did, but my mind, I wasn't traveling with a full deck. I was always in active addiction, and I was always, high, so I wasn't making good decisions, and there was indecision, and I was a victim of my own substance abuse, my own self-medicating.
So you spent 8 months.
Yes. I eventually I held out as long as I could before trial when it came to getting a plea bargain.
Yeah.
Because I just wanted to get into the zone of the sentencing guidelines where they were possibly able to give me probation and community service because I was a first-time offender. So when I finally held out and they gave me the Zone 11, which afforded me the possibility of the judge giving me probation or community service, I thought for sure
You were going to get
I was going to get it. Because no one in the state of New Jersey has ever, in that Zone 11, and a first-time offender has ever gotten jail. So I celebrated when I got that plea bargain. I was in my underwear with, and I took a photo with the plea bargain, right? It's in my book. And then on sentencing day, they sentenced my brother 2 years. I'm like, wow. I'm like, he took the hit. They're definitely not gonna, give it to me. Sure enough,
your brother because he was your manager.
at the time he was the manager. Yes, and so they gave me everything. They gave me. I got 8 months in prison. I got 2 years of probation, and I got 500 hours community service. And when they gave it to me, it was almost like I sat there in courtroom, and I'll never forget this. My mother's crying behind me. My wife, there's a tear coming down her face. My whole family, my bosses, Jersey Shore, JWoww, Vinny, everyone's crying, right? I'll never forget that. And I just thought to myself, wow, I'm going to prison.
What were the 8 months like?
I think your insecurities get the best of you before you go to prison if you've never been to prison. I think that if you're not educated and you don't know people that are inside, I think your insecurities can run wild. Because once I got there,
A minimum security?
It was Otisville. Otisville's probably one of the. It's a very high profile prison. If you go to prison, word on the street is that's where you want to go. All the high profile people go there. So I guess in that fact, I was lucky by getting sentenced to go there. But I'll be honest with you, it could have went either way. If people didn't like me and didn't think I was trying to turn my life around like I was, maybe I wouldn't been afforded certain luxuries while I was inside.
What kind of luxuries?
Well, everyone liked me. Everyone liked me. They wanted to see me succeed.
I know a guy, a high-profile lawyer, who was convicted of crimes.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a member of my country club in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And so he went to prison, and he said, when I told the other guys in prison that I knew you, I was always allowed in the front row watching television.
Yes. Well, that's why I'm saying luxuries.
because of Jersey Shore.
Yes. That's why I'm saying luxuries. And again, the government also wanted me to rat on my brother for a shorter sentence. And as an Italian American, that's very frowned upon. And I said absolutely not. So whatever sentence they're going to give me, I didn't think they were going to give me prison, but they did. And when they did, I held my head high with grace and class, and I never cried, I never complained. And I paid my debt to society the way that a man should be. But anyway, while I was in there, luxuries would include If you were well liked, like you just said, front row for to watch TV, preference for maybe a TV channel of your choice. Also, the kitchen was highly sought after, and
To work in.
definitely to work in. But if you worked in the prison in the cafeteria, you had power. And those guys loved me. They loved the fact that they loved Jersey Shore. They loved the fact that I was turning my life around and I was a bad boy that was trying to make good on his life.
Right.
And so they would give me fresh salads every day, cucumber, tomato, and onion, and that was gold.
Your abs were still good.
Yes, that was gold in prison. They wanted to see me succeed. Also, I didn't have a job in prison. And most of the time you need to have a job. They kind of just let me be, and they let me work out, and I was left alone. And when I first got into prison, there was so much fan mail that came into the prison that it shut down the mailroom, which I got a little shook because I'm like, oh my God, this is what these guys look forward to. Yeah. The mail, magazines. And if I shut it down, right?
Yeah.
And do I have a problem now? But again, it was flattering. I was there for 8 months. And I couldn't believe that, the amount of love that I received. And I was very positive and very friendly. And Michael Cohen was there.
Oh, really?
The guy from Fry Fest, Billy McFarland, the other guy that hacked Jennifer Lawrence's nudies. So it was quite the
a rogues gallery.
Yeah. Yes, it was.
So you come out. Jersey Shore is still around.
Yeah, they documented me going into prison. They documented me getting married. In my first year of marriage, I was in prison, and that always haunts me to this day.
This is what I don't quite understand about your wife. You were.
She's a saint.
I'm sure.
Yeah,
she has to be.
Yes.
She was your high school sweetheart.
College sweetheart.
But then.
Yeah, we weren't together. We weren't together.
Yeah, but she knew you were this guy who was out there and you were doing all this stuff. And
I was out there finding myself as she was about to get engaged and marry another man. So she was living her life and I was living mine. It just so happened that my experimentation phase was documented. You know what I mean? Not everyone's, experimentation phase is documented.
But you credit her with really turning you around.
Everything. She saved my life. She is a woman that I inspired me to be my best self on a daily basis. I'm now 10 years clean and sober. I own many businesses, still filming and living my dreams right now, and I owe it all to her.
In fact, you're ready to open some rehab centers.
Yes.
What do they call Archangel?
Yes, the Archangel Centers, sort of dedicated to St. Michael, which my name is also Michael. I'm 10 years clean and sober, and I feel that God has spared my life and my story so that I can help other people. I feel that, God has pulled me out of the fiery pits of hell so that I can go back in with buckets of water to save other people.
And both you and your wife are licensed as interventionists.
Yes. We are continuing our education on a daily basis. Our centers should be open in the next 30 to 90 days. There's going to be 3 in New Jersey, but we're also opening up throughout the United States and throughout the world.
Do you mean as an interventionist, you will just go into someone's home?
That is my dream. I feel that if anybody has watched me on TV, I thrive in chaos. I just, I mean, obviously I'm a changed man. Obviously the show has morphed into watching my comeback and my redemption story, but I don't shy away from, confrontation. And I want to go door to door, and I want to course correct an addict's life from active addiction into recovery. I'm going to speak to the person that is suffering from the disease of addiction, and my wife will be speaking to the family. Because a lot of people don't know that my wife has her own experience with addiction. She not only saved my life, but her brother tragically passed from an overdose at 25, many, many years ago.
What are the other cast members like these days?
They are just living their best life. You know what I mean?
Are any of them still the way they were in the first and second season?
I can't say that because everyone changes in life. You know, everyone grows.
I mean, you have children now. And
yes. Well, everyone has children for the
all
most
the
part.
kids.
Yeah, I think the tally right now is that we have a dozen kids between us all, which is really just beautiful. Sammy right now is about to have her first. Snooki has 3 babies. Paulie has 1. JWoww has 2. Dina has 2. I have 3. Everyone has definitely grown. You know, JWoww is now a director. She is making movies. She's on her second movie. DJ Pauly D is a world-renowned DJ,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
I mean, everyone has had tremendous growth. Snooki has her brand. She's a worldwide icon, and she has her
clothing line.
She has her Snooki shops. You know, everyone has definitely changed and progressed in their life, and it's really special to see. And that's what the show is now. Actually, I think it was 2 weeks ago, we just got our ratings, the best ratings in 7 years that we've had. So that right there is a good situation.
You're going to get another year?
It looks like it. you know TV.
Are you going to negotiate it? Are you going to walk out?
You know what? I don't think I can do that yet. Maybe after the next year. Or we have one more year on our contract.
Okay.
Yeah, we have one more year on our contract. Yep.
Oh boy. So things are good. I mean, you look good. I mean, you're still buff.
Listen, your boy over here is benching 315 for 6. That's 3 plates. That's a lot. You know,
if I bench 100,
yeah,
lucky.
The wild thing is that we turned 15 minutes of fame into 15 years, and the story continues. And my story is very special because I have fought a ton of obstacles, you know, and I'm now.
Well, I think we just went through some of them.
Yeah, and my next chapter is going to be even better. I mean, you could just see it on paper, and I had seen it in my dreams for many years. And for me to now be opening up my centers on my 10th year of sobriety and now saving lives, it's just so very special.
Okay, and you're now a big investor. You got all these businesses going. Bang Cookies.
Yes.
What is this?
Bang Cookies.
What is this?
I mean, you can just look at that box and tell that they are banging cookies. Those cookies are organic cookies. I brought some for you, and I got some for the staff.
Oh, God.
Here
we go.
Yes. Everybody loves a good cookie.
Of course.
A New Jersey-born company. They're organic, and we give back to the kids.
Jersey-born company.
Yes. We have upwards of 7 locations, or I think we're on our 7th now. Oh, wow. Okay. Moment of truth. Which one is that one?
It's the chocolate chip, I hope.
Okay. Yeah.
Huh? That's a chocolate chip?
Are you going to go in? You going to go in?
Of course.
Okay.
Are you kidding? I'm not worried about my abs. Not at my age.
Yes. Now, again, those are organic. It's a very good product. It sells itself, and we are just expanding right now exponentially. As crazy to say this, as the Archangel Centers too. I mean, both of these businesses are expanding exponentially, and I think it's just from, you know what it is, Maury. You just don't give up, even though you want to. The universe always falls in love with a stubborn heart. You know, and I've been working. I've been working hard for many years.
Stubborn heart. That's a good line.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah.
I hate to ask this question, but I want to. You got money?
I do. My wife has money. I'm broke. My wife's got it all. I'm broke. I walk around like I got no money, and I just work my hardest. I make good decisions.
And you got a good accountant.
Yes. I work hard. I'm good to my friends, my family, my neighbors, and I always go the extra mile. There's less traffic there.
So how old are your kids?
4 years old for the boy,
wow.
The oldest. 2 for the girl, and 1 for the baby, which is another girl. So we have 3 beautiful babies, and I was just in Sicily this past week. I just got back.
I assume that's your heritage.
Yes. And while I was there, I was like, wow, am I dreaming? It was so beautiful. And then I realized when I got home and saw my children that I'm actually living my dream.
It's very interesting about Sicily. It's become a huge tourist attraction.
Have you ever been?
No.
It's gorgeous.
I've been
It's gorgeous.
throughout all of Italy, but
gorgeous.
not Sicily.
I was in Amalfi.
I always thought it was just some black rock somewhere.
That's what I thought. I went to Amalfi Coast last year, and it was a dream vacation because my Uncle Sam, he just gave me back my passport. And it was gone for, like 10 years. And I had done everything right. The fines and the restitution and everything. They finally gave it back. And last year, we went to Amalfi. It was gorgeous.
Amalfi I've been to.
But when you go to Sicily, it's a cut above. It's a cut. The scenery, the mountains, the food, the people, the shopping. It's 100 out of 10.
Great.
It's beautiful.
All right. We're at the 19th hole. This is how we do it. You can ask me any question you want, and I might answer honestly. How often you go to the gym?
Oh, gym is 5 days a week usually for 90 minutes to 2 hours probably. Yeah.
You'll go? Tanning?
Obviously I just came from Sicily and I just got a natural tan, but if I do go to the tanning salon, I don't tan my face.
You used to. Way back?
Oh, used to, yes.
Yeah.
Now, I'm all about longevity, and it's sometimes it's not the best to tan the face. I tan everything else, and I put like a towel over my face.
All right.
Let's
go.
go.
Stand up here. All right. So any of those holes are the hole. All right. So just line up. This is good.
Wait, what did you say?
Line up.
No, what was that before that? Any of the what?
You're hitting any of these holes.
Oh, that's what she said.
Yeah. You haven't changed. You haven't changed much at all.
Okay.
All right. So
Yeah. Oh! That's what we're talking about.
That's all I need.
Yeah,
that's all I need.
That is a
never ever stepped up with a putter in his life.
Yes.
Bingo.
You know what? That is a metaphor for our interview.
There you go.
That is what our interview was like.
It was a hole in one.
Hole in one. It was.
Very good. Good to see you.
Thanks so much. Thank you so much.
Good luck to you. If you've had as much fun as I did, make sure you subscribe to On Par with Maury Povich on YouTube and tap that little bell so you don't miss a thing. And if you like to listen on the go, we're on Apple, Spotify, everywhere you get your podcast. Hit that follow button. I'll be back with more before you know it. On Par with me, Maury Povich, is brought to you by Mopo Productions, A Better Life Media, and Radley Studios, with executive producers, me, Maury Povich, Holly J. Mirabella, and Christian Thompson. Supervising producer Mike Bornasian, and directed by Mark Leibowitz.